Full accountability, of course. So, Dan, let's start with you. What are your thoughts about the way they went for it?
Yeah, I love them going for it. Before we get to the tape, though, do you see how much pain is on his face?
Yes.
That's one of the reasons why he is such a great coach and why his teams are always so committed for him. I would say this. Sean McVay's beauty is the way that he sets up play calls. 5 times last night, the Rams had 3rd and 1 or 4th and 1. On 4 of those, they ran basically the same play, same formation. Early in the first quarter, they get to that 4-man surface, and they run what we call duo, a bunch of double teams. Now, this is 3rd and 1. They get it. There's an unblocked person defensively. They get it, okay? So that's a good conversion. You go into the second quarter, it's same formation. This time, they just have the receiver down a little bit closer, but it's the same play. 4th and 1, double teams. Okay, now they get a little bit of a backside cut, but once again, they convert. Remember, they only had this situation 5 times. So one time they threw it between Matthew Stafford and Devontae Adams. 4th quarter, a little bit earlier in the quarter, same formation, same play. Those double teams, 3rd and 1, they find a way to go convert it. And then in overtime, you would think it's the perfect time for a great play caller to just trick the defense. And I was shocked that they lined up in the same formation and run the same play. And the fact that that safety triggers on it, I think in part is because he had seen that so much. I love him going for it. Sean McVay is one of the great play callers in the NFL. But I was just very surprised watching that back going, wow, in that situation, remember, 5 times on this situation, they ran the same exact play. I think in overtime it got him.
That's a great point, Dan. First of all, I just love the fact that we're all in agreement about going for it and it's not a debate, because I feel like 5-10 years ago there would be a lot of people arguing the other side of this. But it's an important note that, you know, there was 3 minutes and 41 seconds left in the game, right? So it wouldn't have been the game-tying field goal per se. You're giving the Niners back a chance to drive the field, control the clock, with a chance to win with merely a field goal. So that is, I think, something we all accept and acknowledge, and we're good with it. As far as the play call goes, I think something with the Rams' run game really has jumped out to me. It's the most efficient rushing game in football, but a lot of that is predicated on facing light skill players when you're expecting them to continue winning against stacked boxes, the likes of which they face there. And it's actually something that before this game, Dan, they had not been good at all. On short yardage runs, they've been 30th in the NFL and converting them going into this game. So I feel like a little bit of self-scouting. You talked about sort of within the game and thinking, let's go away from something we've done on previous plays. But I also think moving forward, this is not a team that is going to win that way. They don't win in their run game because of the dominance of their offensive line, and they do not have power backs. They win because of the passing game for the most part. Yeah. And that's why I think McVay probably, regrets what he did, amongst other things.
Yeah, and the one thing that has really cost them is special teams, too, the last couple of games. All right, let's go to the winning team, shall we? How about Mac Jones in once again for...
Feels great. I mean, I just thought it was a dogfight, and we were in the ring, and the defense played great. Special teams came in clutch. Had great field goals by Eddie, and it was just awesome to be on a team that fights. And even if we lost, like I said earlier, I would have been just as proud, to be honest, because I know that those guys had my back and I got their back.
Swagoo, he had 236 passing yards between the numbers. What stood out to you about his performance?
That's exactly what jumped out to me, Hannah. The fact that Mac Jones was so confident in the middle of the field as a quarterback, and that shows poise. You also have to take chances. Dan has talked about this for a number of years since we've been together, is that when guys have the ability to throw across the middle of the field, it unlocks a lot about what you can do offensively. He was confident, he was poised, and look at this heat chart here that I asked for. Like, you can see where the dominance was, and I thought at some point the Los Angeles Rams would adjust and kind of try to take that away from him and force him outside the numbers, but he was consistent there all night, whether it was Christian McCaffrey, the highlight you showed of Kendrick Bourne, who had a phenomenal game as well. But all of these things kind of played into what Kyle Shanahan wanted from Mac Jones and where he wanted to play against this Ram defense. And a lot of it strictly boils down to the fact that you have such a tremendous amount of respect for this pass rush that you always wanted Mac Jones to have an out. You always wanted somebody. What caught my attention was running across his eyes, giving him an outlet in those specific areas. And Christian McCaffrey obviously being that one guy. But ultimately, I thought he dominated, and this offense with Kyle Shanahan dominated the middle of the field in the passing game.
Yeah, this is the best game I've ever seen Mac Jones play as a professional. When it comes to seeing the field, playing fast, clear decisions, and the timing was absolutely off the charts. I mean, he made some throws while getting hit that were outstanding. This is a deep curl to the field. You're going to see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hitch ball comes out right before he gets hit by that defensive lineman. Receiver just dropping his hips to get into his cut, and it's placed perfectly. You cannot do it better than that. That's a phenomenal throw by Mac Jones. A go route. He's going to catch the snap. He's on the left hash. He's going 1, 2, 3. Receiver and corner even. He doesn't trust the receiver's vertical speed down the field. Let me throw it the back shoulder. Ball comes out. Defensive back has absolutely no clue. That's elite timing. That's winning timing. This is a high-low in the middle of the field, something Marcus is just talking about. This is big time now, a little flash fake. Defender is at his feet, right? And he's going to throw this in-breaker right off as that receiver starts to curl. That ball's pinned on his chest. This looks like a big-time starting quarterback in the NFL. This is a cut split corner, right, Marcus? How good is this? Half roll. This ball comes out of his hands. Again, defensive end bearing down on him. That corner, you just got to float it over him, but like make sure you don't put too much air on it. You're just bleeding him to the sideline. And now this is huge. Third down, you get a switch release. But the timing of these throws in muddy areas, in condensed coverages, is big time. And I was just so impressed by the timing that he played with. And I think it was a huge reason why, because, guys, I felt watching that game, it was almost like the Micah Dallas game the other night. You're sitting there going, how come they can't get home? And it was because he was playing so fast and getting the ball out so early.
That was what I kept thinking during the game. Like, he's the perfect quarterback in this moment to beat this defense, right? Because the Rams have a terrific four-man rush, but behind that rush, there are weaknesses at linebacker and in the secondary, and really Mac Jones, what he had to do was play exactly like how he did, with exceptional timing and accuracy. He's even sped up as the game went on and he came back from the injury. His decision-making, coupled, of course, with Kyle Shanahan's excellent play calling, just fantastic. But the other player I wanted to highlight was Christian McCaffrey. Just going back and watching some of these plays on tape, it is amazing the defense over, so you get the tight end Tongas wide open, again, over the middle of the field. He truly is Kyle Shanahan's queen on the chessboard. And, you know, as all of these players are being pulled out of the Niners and they're losing all of these guys to injury, a reminder that, to me, he remains the most important skill player on this team.
Oh, yeah, 4-1 now, despite all those injuries. And, guys, that was an epic breakdown of a Thursday night game, I got to say. Our group text chain paid off big time. Breaking news coming up on NFL Live. Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson has now been ruled out of the game this weekend. Strained hamstring during Sunday's loss at Kansas City. Did not practice at all this week. And just speaking of the Rams, they host the Rams next Sunday before their bye week. So he could get 2 weeks of recovery for missing one more game, which leaves Cooper Rush as their starting quarterback. Here he was today.
It's kind of been here before. You know, whenever a franchise QB goes down, it's always sky is falling feeling everywhere you are, and it's normal. And you know, if you have to go out there on Sunday and do what you got to do, and it's nice knowing you had a whole week to prep for it. So things like that are good.
Dan, Cooper Rush has had plenty of experience starting games as a backup in the NFL. What do you think about this game plan now as they face that Houston defense this weekend?
Yeah, I believe the Ravens can beat Houston even without Lamar. Now, it's a very small formula. I think number one, and I've talked about this, Derrick Henry's got to get the ball plenty. I would say 25-plus carries for Derrick Henry, and something that you can do against his defense is what we call trap or wham runs. You just get vertical because the defensive line flows